But some of the guys, I believe we are back into game by the way, but you got some guys like, for example, I mean, you were on a team, I'm not just talking about Team AU here, Huss, but you were also on a team with CKM and Tung in the PAC region at a time as well, so you guys, and Trill actually, so you got a lot of old teammates that faced against guys like Bacon Jack and Ting and all that. You guys got so much history in terms of playing against those specific players.
I mean, we've all come like a long distance, we're much better than we were back then. But it's like, it's good to have that you know, familiar feel of like, you know, these players from PAC.
Except CKM.
True, except CKM. I'm glad to get rid of them.
Gotta throw a few stabs at it. Some of the Australian players in here, so when they watch it back, they feel bad.
Speaking of CKM though, because like, I don't know, he looks like he's rolling on the Doom at the moment. He's obviously picking up some new heroes, because I just remember him as being, you know, he plays a lot of Genji and Pharah, but I've never actually seen him play any Doom.
Yeah, it's been new this season. Obviously, really meta, so had to be able to practice and play it.
Shailin on the Sombra as well is a bit of a different one. We saw a lot of Element Mystic play that, but I wasn't sure if anyone else was actually going to be looking to bring that out.
Oh, Australia had all the space, but CKM went down first then.
No, I got caught off. Faster shots though. I think that's surprised by the Sombra thing.
Yeah, definitely off meta as well. Trill's getting pressured as well. Australia's really split. This cold's probably going to wrap it up, but when he's type A here.
So that's a pretty decent opening. I mean, you did see Hunter getting... Hunter kind of got hacked out fairly early there, so that's a play you lose pretty early on in terms of effectiveness. Cap is now finally through, and like you said, man, the early call from the in definitely put in the work.
Good thing for Australia here is they're going to come back in with their call. The problem here is Crazy's actually has a pretty quick Sigma ult, but I think Hunter should have his beat for it in time. And you always pretty much want to be answering the Sigma ult with a sound barrier or some sort of defensive ultimate. He's on the flank up on the high ground.
You do see the old, you know, Troll pop down the supercharge there. Tongue going down, no call being used, is, you know, that could be somewhat costly maybe.
I thought we'd see a supercharger coalescence combo and just push in with that.
You're waiting for EMP here as well, by the way. This could be pretty decent.
They have Sigma ult and the EMP here.
They have no more we can do.
They're gonna EMP out of this feed? Oh, cancel the call.
Oh yeah.
Down, that's rough for Australia.
It's an interesting start. I mean, it's the flip over at least. You got that going for you, but you probably don't see yourselves winning this particular round here, particular fight.
This flip's really, all it's really going to do, which is still a big thing, is they're probably going to get one end out of it.
He's going to try and get something done
with that massive turn, with the double ult kill.
I mean, that could actually be enough to secure, guys. I'm fairly certain they have the CQB down as well.
They stole it.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. Trill just snuck onto the point with Orisa. I was just like sitting there with a Mora pocket and a Lucio pocket, and then E just comes in from the top.
That's the rough Australian outback hone skills, kind of sneaking that one out, I reckon.
And I just see him make that big flank as well. I mean, he was looking quite a while to see if there was an angle for him to really approach in. Get something there. I just believe there's a bit of a sneaky back cap coming through, but otherwise...
Yeah, there's the Sombra, the Sigma ult, countered by the beat, that's still taking the space. Oh, flank.
Little Punky just barely missed the Accretion, by the way. I think he hit a pillar, and otherwise he probably could have stunned... Bacon Jack out of the ult. That's a huge, quick turn.
Yeah, that was a refresh without Bongo as well. So they're gonna have Bongo Coalescence and the MP coming up as well. It's gonna be a rough retake for Australia.
Yeah. Top days so far. I mean, it's close though, guys. I mean, we did say this could have the possibility of being a very close game. Good players on both sides, really well-known players on both sides, and I mean, we'll see who takes the next fight, sure.
Early call to engage. Punk's getting pressured down real hard.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Got the Bongo kill though, but Punk's already down.
EMP's up as well. Is this last fight? This is like borderline last fight.
Looking like one more. Shaolin saving it as well, which is smart. Australia needs to get out of turn this real
quick. Like a Terry on tennis ball.
He's in a lot of trouble as well, actually.
Tons commit after he's gone down as well. Now is definitely his last fight. They're going to get punished for that. Lack of like a clear call. They thought they could turn it off, maybe the pick on the Sombra, and it's going to cost them the point.
Yeah.
And here's Shaolin coming back as well, so if this doesn't seal it, I mean, look, there's barely any AU members alive, there is an EMP available. CKM's going to do his best, but he's going to go down fairly quickly. 100 to 53 and a celebration EMP to close things out on the first round.
Damn, I really think that Sombra caught them off guard.
Yeah, I think like the biggest thing on Control obviously is like winning that rollout. going to position you in a good economic advantage. So they get that advantage from the start. And, you know, the Sombra kind of wreaking havoc, being able to, like... There's always the fear of this EMP coming out, and it changes how Australia has to play, especially you're looking at, like, support positioning. They can't get caught by it. And I think, like, the biggest thing was Tung getting caught out, dying before he got his call out. Like, also really problematic, because he comes back and he uses the call, but it got cancelled as well.
Also,
by
if you're
the
not
EMP.
used to playing against Sombra, when you run into combos like the Sigma ulti and you try to beat it, that could like really throw a spanner into the works, because you could cancel out the bait with an EMP really easily, because like everyone's in the air.
We are seeing, by the way, Shailen come back out on the old Sombra again. Same stuff coming through from AU, so no surprises there, but you know, we talked about the fact that Shailen kind of walked around AU quite easily there, didn't seem to get punished very hard.
Yeah, they're just poking on the high ground right now. Dropping down now. CKM's gone in with a quick pump.
Oh, they get to pick onto the wall. That's really good.
And the hack actually goes on E. That's not the ideal hack target. I think he probably really wanted that on Unter or Puck or somebody, so this is a super big lead for AU.
Already up 2 kills. This is
I think this fight is pretty much closed out already. I like Australia, they stayed on the high ground, they chose their time to engage. The advantage there, obviously, with that high ground is like, you know, they're the ones that get to make the move, and they go in when CKM's in a position to get like good pressure with his kit, and then they all drop down and push up forward.
It enables you to initiate with a Doomfist E instead of a punch, and you can get like multiple people with an uppercut after that.
Yeah.
Really easy setup.
Looking like a standard retake here. Most teams are always going to come out this high ground.
Indian's got like no coalescence charge though, so it's going to be a free fight if they can just coalescence when
He
they drop.
actually, he's just kind of waiting on the side here.
Yeah.
He's
hiding on the front.
waiting for his opportunity to go in, does find that.
Nice suck into the coalescence as well.
Yeah, Tongue cancels the hack on Shaolin as well to get the coalescence up. Smart.
They do disengage though, so that cost us. It cost Australia the call, but I guess they got a bit of time out of it. But now,
and you build other ultimates, so it's not horrible.
Yeah.
CKM
Answered with their own. Double support ult from Chinese Taipei. CKM's turned down.
That was a bait. No bait. That was actually really fast bait from CKB. Holy crap.
You see, Unter's at 86 is just not quite in time to maybe block out the flux from KZS either, so I mean, probably just a couple of things missing there from AU in this particular fight. 58-3 though is still a really decent lead. It's very different from what we saw in Village, where AU was trailing the whole map basically.
Yeah, what really cost them was not getting enough out of the initial coalescence. Like I said, like Taipei were able to disengage, and it cost Australia because they came back in with better ultimates, and Unter wasn't ready for the Sigma ult.
I think Felix over CKM over extended as well, but there with the Doomfist ultimate.
Shailen actually got spotted there, so that's like at least that's something going for AU where okay, you've sort of seen the Sombra a little bit. Let's have this reposition though.
No beat for this. Hunter gets the beat off, that's huge. They should win this fight.
I like using re-roll, just super decisive there. They could have won without it perhaps, but like pulling the trigger and just sending it means they not only cap faster, but ensure that they don't end up wiping.
I guess they have Bongo next fight to build up these ultimates.
They have Bongo Coalescence next fight, which is like a pretty strong combo as well, so they're going to probably look to execute something with those, and maybe a suck and some positioning with the DPS. Both CKM and Ida are kind of in the same spot right now on this high ground, but it's getting scouted by Shaolin.
And you still maintain this sort of control lead as well. You're just still taking up it for the moment being. CKM being hacked out is potentially very bad.
Yeah, this Sombra is punishing Australia a lot right now. They're definitely unsure about how to position and deal with it.
Okay, oh, that's a good pick.
Jack though, trying to turn things around. You see Eat being the one to actually kind of do the damage at the end of the day. And this is last fight territory, right? You see AU definitely turning this into a 1-to-1. No one there to save him.
Monkey punches around the back of the shield as well. Takes out the Bongo. That's a good win.
That was a really clean fight. I think both teams kind of answered with the same ultimates, but Eat comes out huge with like the double kill.
And CQB by the way.
Having to ult.
CQB by the way ends up dying with the sound barrier still, so that's a little unfortunate on his side of things. Probably would have liked to have seen that being used in the middle there.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of the bigger issues with that fight as well. But I think right now, I guess this is a precursor for what might be to come on other maps. Control's a bit different. Maybe sometimes you see comps that aren't played as much on the other game types. But if Chinese Taipei keep playing this Sombra, I think Australia's really going to have to learn to adapt on the fly.
Speaking of flying, I mean, this map at some point was played with a bit of fire, and I think Shailen's thinking about coming out with that. CQB are probably going to swap to the Mercy straight after speed boosting.
Yeah, this is like a really classic comp.
Wait,
with
is that a Roadhog?
Yeah, they're doing the old school.
Yep.
The Orisa Hog.
This is ancient.
They're gonna look to suck and hook and try and get people off this high ground.
I mean, is AU okay to be playing the same thing at this sort of stage? We've seen AU play one comp so far, and it is the meta comp, but it is also a 1-on-1.
This
Yeah,
is
depends on how
the
they play against the Pharah.
I think you can definitely still run this against
Yeah,
Pharah.
100%.
Maybe
Oh, that
you
hole
can
is
look.
nice.
Yeah, you can look to swap, like, maybe and get a Mei in there and stuff like that, which also will answer the hog a bit with the Mei
You see
wall.
them rotating around the back trying to drop under point, so they have like less pressure from the Pharah.
Cap.
Yeah, they got the cap off though.
Yeah, they give up the cap on that.
Another nice hold. I mean, look, the damage is coming through. Barrage is basically ready as well.
They answered well, both Doomfist dead, and they got the wow, there's a whole stuff like the overwhelm.
Where did that even come from?
Dallas Field Trill, dude.
The Trill. Trill literally just saved in that fight. They were gonna lose that.
I had no business winning that fight.
And there's a couple things there, right? Because, I mean, Punk's job here is to really deal with Shaolin on the bar, because he's the guy that put the shield in his face. And then on top of that, Trill just gets a couple of picks on the Holt. I mean, in that combination, then no one really dying to the barrage. That's going to be the cap over. That's the fight win.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Australia do lose. This is actually a good opportunity.
Oh,
to
Punk's maybe in trouble. It's pretty risky from him.
Yeah, they committed the bongo as well, though.
Oh, they're gonna get up the
Give
cap.
them a bit of time. They should be able to touch that in time.
Okay, they
Lost the bongo and they have no space though, so this is going to be bad if they can't push out quickly here.
That was actually CQB solo capping there just to try and pull AU back, which they successfully do. And once more, you know, the job really comes down to Punk. What can he do? Trill gets popped off the side.
He really give us some takers.
Oh, wow. Nothing really even happened in that fight. I think Australia lost a lot of space. They got pressured back into the corner of point. And, you know, this Chinese Taipei comp's going to excel there because they're going to be able to split out. And obviously they got the boost onto Trill, which opened it up. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Punk might try and use this ult and then look to potentially swap to D.Va here. It's good against the Orisa and the Pharah and Doomfist now.
So sort of
hasn't been doing too much though.
To sort of put the tie on the last fight there is, I mean, you did see a potential for a 6v4 that AU could have taken, but because they wanted to reach the point first, I mean, they kind of got themselves split. Going into this next one, CKM is instantly dead.
Brutal pick up.
As I say, he's not doing too much against the Trill. Alright, he's got an ulti as well. They should clean this up with the barrage, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened to the beat?
Did he?
He used beat. Where'd it go?
Hunter, he did use it. It existed is all I can say about that. It certainly existed. But doesn't exist long enough for Shaolin to stop Shaolin from getting this 4K now. And it's another issue where, okay, you started 5v6 versus these guys. Forced a sound barrier from Hunter fairly early in that fight. Punk also used the flux, but Shaolin just waited. Super patient, biding his time. Found the opportunity. Sound barrier's gone. No more threats here. Time to put down the barrage. 4 kills and another fight.
It's going to be the last fight coming up. If Australia can't win this fight, this map's going to just go over to Chinese too.
Bongo to deep best ultis. I think I favor the Chinese Taipei comp right now, like the ultimates.
Just see, they've got 8s going on the flank here, which is going to look to push out at the same time. You might be able to catch someone from behind that.
Everything's happening now. Punk, man, killing himself so early.
That was a flying Reaper, wait.
Yeah, crazy ass. Popped him in the air. This whole hog, and I mean, that's the whole map. 99, about to be 100 to 50. Map 1. Guys, it goes the way of Chinese Taipei, and you gotta say, especially on Sanctum, I would say across the board, I mean, they're the ones that brought the more varied composition. They showed a few more different picks. Felt like AU did have a good grasp of Shrine there in the middle, where, okay, the Doom Reaper started to really work for them, but you look at the Sombra across the board, it's really decent, especially the village again to work with. You look at the Pharah on the last round Sanctum as well, is absolutely key. So, I mean, what's going on here?
Look, at the end of the day, at least, you know, Australia was able to get what's probably more important.